Hello YouTube. I'm new to the channel. In fact, this is my first video I've ever made, so please bear with me. I've been in the hobby for over 20 years. I've lost track of how many RCs I've actually been through. Anyway, I love the hobby, and my buddy over at Everyday RC, Chris, has been encouraging me to make a video. He and I talk on a daily basis, and anyway, he's motivated me to try this. Well, today I have a new kit, so I thought, what better time to try a video than now? So anyway, I've got the Yeti 1/10 Rock Racer. I know it's not a new kit. I'll give you a little backstory. Last year when the Yeti XL kit was released, I pre-ordered it. Was one of the first ones to receive the kit, built it using some modification parts off the bat, some aluminum. But on my second 4S run, I blew a front diff. I called Axial, and they sent me out a replacement set of gears, along with a new plastic front bulkhead. They claimed that there was some problems in the molding process and that I may have gotten a bad bulkhead, and that may have caused improper mesh in my front end. Now again guys, when I say diff, I'm talking about not actually the little diff gears inside the diff cup, but actually the bevel gear that mounts to the diff cup and the pinion that mounts to the axle leading to the center transmission. So long story short, that front diff is a weak spot. Axial sent me out those replacement gears. I put them in there, and I didn't get but a few runs, and lo and behold, a new blown diff. Now, I eventually got that XL up to a decent level after, I don't know, $500 worth of upgrades, but I still never ran 6S in it. I don't think the drivetrain is durable enough to hold up to 6S. I know there's a lot of videos on YouTube of guys doing some insane stuff with a Yeti XL. But friends, I don't know how they do it. I'm a member of RC Crawler forums, and me and several guys on there have talked, and we all feel that the drivetrain is not sufficient. I've seen lots of stuff. I've seen full-blown meltdowns in the center transmission, blown front diffs, rear diffs, lots of problems. But anyway, why on earth would I buy a 1/10 scale Yeti if I had problems with a 1/8 scale? Well, first of all, I love the Yeti. I think it's a cool rig. It looks good. Okay, I love scale realism, and anyway, I really like this thing. Now, the difference between the 1/10 Yeti and the 1/8 Yeti, what interests me, was that the 1/10 Yeti comes with hardened steel spiral cut bevel and pinions for the front transmission and rear axle. Now, I've had experience with these gears. See this over here? This is the Axial XO. I'm sure you're aware of it. But this is a cool car. It's got its own share of problems, but I installed those HD gears in this car, and I'm running a 4S 1/8 scale brushless system in this car. Now, as you can see, it's modified. It's got a lot of aluminum here and there, so I'm not saying throw 8 scale electronics in your XO and it's going to be fine, but I'm telling you that those high HD gears in the front end and rear end of this thing have held up flawlessly. The drivetrain in this thing looks great. I took it apart just to check on it a few times. Everything's great. So, that being said, I feel confident that I can get this drivetrain durable enough to run even up to 4S. Now, I have some Robinson Racing HD gears for the center transmission. Again, this kit comes with HD gears for the front and rear end. And I have some HPI Racing spider gears for the front diff, so I can keep an open front diff and have a durable one. And as you can see, there's lots of hop-ups like here on the table. And this is not all of them, friend. I've got several parts coming from Asia Tees. It's taking a little longer coming from China than the rest of this stuff did, but I've got hubs and knuckles for the front, aluminum. I've got aluminum front gearbox. I've got aluminum, well, I have the aluminum shock tower here. I've got aluminum body mount, aluminum upper rear shock mounts, a full aluminum rear axle, aluminum trailing arms for the rear, and aluminum motor mount coming as well. There's some other parts too. I can't remember right offhand. Anyway, let's go over what I have. I've got the Hot Racing Shock Upgrade Kit to replace the plastic shock caps, Hot Racing Steering Rack, and as far as I know, this is the only steering rack that comes with an adjustable spring on the market. There may be another one, excuse me if there is, but I haven't found it. A Hobby Wing UBEC, which is amazing. I have it in my HPI Savage. It has dip switches, doesn't require any kind of hot wire or any kind of PC hookup to adjust it. You just flip the switches in accordance to what the voltage of your servo is, and you are in business. Speaking of servos, I have the Savox 2270, which has 444 ounces of torque at 7.4 volts. I feel pretty confident that it's going to turn the wheels. I'm using a Fuse Dynamite 130 amp ESC. It's one I had spare, and I've got one of these in my EXO, and I can tell you that even though it's sensorless, it has zero cogging in it. It is spot on. One of the best ESCs I've ever had for 1/10 scale or 1/8 scale. Guys, don't laugh at me too much, but this motor, I got it off eBay. It's a 3100 volt kV, and it was $23 shipped from California. It is a Chinese motor, but friends, I hate to tell you, but the Castle motors are from China too. So it says it right on the back of my 2200 kV and my 2650 that I have. But anyway, I'm going to try that motor. I may not stick with it. That's kind of why I didn't want to spend a lot of money on the motor, because I may actually go with a 2200 down the road in 4S. Now, there's the MIP rear drive shaft. Everybody knows that a Yeti needs one of those in the rear. The splines are easy to twist, and I've seen a lot of slop after just 2 runs in the rear of a Yeti. I've got the Hot Racing diff cup. It's aluminum, just for extra support. That's the locked rear spool that Hot Racing makes for the rear of the Yeti. That's a diff cover from Hot Racing. I thought it was going to be the color blue of the other parts I have, but it is dark blue. I may or may not use that. That is pivot balls for the front end. As you know, Axial comes with plastic pivot balls. I'm not a fan of plastic pivot balls. They wear out very quickly. That's my front shock tower from GPM. I know a lot of guys are using Vanquish products, and I have no problem with Vanquish products. I think they're great. But there was quite a bit of difference in the price tag between the GPM and Vanquish shock tower. And I've had a number of GPM parts, and I've bashed the crap out of a team associated rival with GPM shock towers, and if they can hold up to that thing, I think the Yeti will be okay. Now again, back to the Vanquish products here. I've got front and rear hubs, because as you know, if you've watched anything on the Yeti, these strip out. The plastic ones strip out on the main chassis if you don't replace them. And this right here is the single most important upgrade that you'll ever put on any Axial high-speed vehicle. Axial bearings are junk. They may hold up okay for crawling, but after I had several problems with my first EXO, that one over there I showed you is not my first EXO. I had one 3 years ago. And I was an idiot. I sold it. After I beat it up pretty good, I sold it, but I should have kept it. Anyway, I replaced the bearings with fast eddy bearings. I used these same fast eddy bearings in my kit that I showed you a while ago, the blue XO. I used fast eddy bearings in my Yeti XL, and I have not had a fast eddy bearing ever blow out. They are very durable, and I can't recommend them enough. And I've already unpackaged the Yeti and took the tires out because I bought these GPM aluminum wheels. They are not complete wheels, they're just the front portion of the three-piece design. I thought when I purchased them that they were going to be all three pieces. They are not, friends, but they do mesh up with the plastic parts okay. I had to do a little bit of modification to get them to work. But long story short, we'll see if the inner bead holds with the aluminum outer bead. They look cool. I've got a set of BF Goodrich Proline Yeti tires coming. Those are supposed to be the stuff right now. They are very soft compound, and Rich over at RC Network praised them. Anyway, I've got a set of those coming and a set of D-Hawk aluminum wheels. They were about 130 bucks, and they actually have all three pieces of aluminum per wheel. So we're going to try those. I know. Why didn't I go to RC 4-wheel drive or somewhere like that and pay $200 for a set of rims? Well, I'm cheap in some areas, okay? In fact, well, I don't know if I want to say I'm cheap. I'm probably going to have $1,000 in this car when it's all said and done, so it's not cheap. It's just, if I can save a buck here and there, I'm going to. But anyway, friends, I thought I would share this with you. Again, I'm not starting the build yet. Down the road, when I get the remaining portion of the parts that I'm looking for, I'll get started. Because when I build this thing the first time, I plan on it being durable. I don't want to have to replace something after I put plastic parts that wear out in there. But anyway, good day, YouTube, and hopefully I'll have another video up soon showing a build process.